Welcome to American Pulse and Paranormal. Before we dive into our chilling tale, we recommend putting on your headphones to fully immerse yourself in the spine-tingling experience. Sit back, relax, and prepare to be haunted by today's story. In the small, forgotten town of Ravenswood, where the fog clings to the cobblestone streets and whispers of the past linger in the air, there stood an old mansion known as the Hawthorne House. For years, it had been abandoned, left to decay and wither away. The townsfolk spoke of it in hushed tones, sharing tales of the eerie occurrences and the spectral inhabitants that haunted its halls. One crisp autumn evening, a group of friends, Emma, Jack, Sarah, and Tom, decided to explore the Hawthorne House, drawn by the allure of its dark history. They were thrill seekers, always in search of the next adrenaline rush, and the mansion promised an unforgettable adventure. As they approached the mansion, the wind howled through the trees, and the creaking gates groaned under the weight of years of neglect. Emma, the leader of the group, pushed open the heavy wooden door, revealing a grand but decaying foyer. The air inside was cold and damp, and the scent of mildew permeated every corner. "Are you sure about this, Emma?" Sarah whispered, her voice trembling. "Come on, Sarah. It's just an old house. What's the worst that could happen?" Jack replied, trying to mask his own apprehension. Tom, ever the pragmatist, pulled out his flashlight and led the way deeper into the mansion. The beam of light cut through the darkness, illuminating the faded wallpaper, broken furniture, and dust-covered surfaces. The friends walked cautiously, their footsteps echoing through the empty halls. As they explored, they stumbled upon a grand staircase that spiraled upward into the unknown. Curiosity getting the better of them, they decided to ascend. The stairs creaked ominously with each step, and the air grew colder the higher they climbed. At the top, they found a long corridor lined with portraits of stern-faced ancestors, their eyes seemingly following the intruders. Emma's flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced along the walls. "This place gives me the creeps," she admitted, her bravado waning. Suddenly, a door at the end of the corridor swung open with a loud bang, causing Sarah to let out a terrified scream. "What was that?" she gasped, clutching Jack's arm. "Let's check it out," Tom suggested, trying to steady his nerves. They approached the open door cautiously and peered inside. The room appeared to be a library, filled with dusty books and cobweb-covered shelves. In the center of the room stood an old, leather-bound book, open to a page covered in strange symbols. As Emma reached out to touch the book, the temperature in the room dropped suddenly, and an icy breath brushed against her neck. She spun around, but there was no one there. "Did you guys feel that?" she asked, her voice shaky. Before anyone could respond, the book slammed shut on its own, sending a cloud of dust into the air. The friends exchanged nervous glances, their fear palpable. "We should leave," Jack said, his voice barely a whisper. But their escape was not to be. As they turned to leave the room, the door slammed shut, trapping them inside. The sound of footsteps echoed through the hallway outside, growing closer with each passing second. "Who's there?" Tom called out, but there was no reply. The footsteps stopped just outside the door, and the friends huddled together, their hearts pounding in their chests. Suddenly, the door burst open, and a cold, spectral figure floated into the room. It was the ghost of Abigail Hawthorne, the former mistress of the mansion. Her eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and her voice echoed as she spoke. "Why have you disturbed my rest?" she demanded, her tone filled with anger and sorrow. "We're sorry," Emma stammered. "We didn't mean to." "Silence!" Abigail's voice thundered, causing the room to shake. "You must leave this place at once, or suffer the consequences." The friends didn't need to be told twice. They bolted from the library, their footsteps echoing through the mansion as they raced toward the exit. As they reached the foyer, the front door swung open, and they spilled out into the night, gasping for breath. They didn't stop running until they were safely back in town. The experience left them shaken, and they vowed never to speak of it again. But the memory of the Hawthorne house and its ghostly inhabitant would haunt them for the rest of their lives. The mansion remained abandoned, standing as a silent sentinel to the horrors within. And the townsfolk continued to share their tales of the haunted house, warning others to stay away. For in Ravenswood, the past never truly dies, and the spirits of the dead are never far from the living. As the friends regrouped in Emma's living room, the reality of what they had experienced began to sink in. They sat in silence for a moment, the weight of the night's events heavy on their shoulders. "Did that really just happen?" Sarah asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "It felt so real," Jack replied, his eyes wide with disbelief. "I've never been so scared in my life." Tom nodded in agreement. "Whatever that was, it wasn't just our imagination. We all saw it." Emma, who had been the most adventurous of the group, was unusually quiet. She stared at the floor, lost in thought. What if there's more to the story of Hawthorne House than we know?" she mused. Intrigued, the friends began to research the history of the mansion. They spent hours poring over old newspapers, historical records, and local legends, piecing together the tragic tale of Abigail Hawthorne. Abigail had been a young bride, married to the wealthy and influential Jonathan Hawthorne. They had moved into the mansion shortly after their wedding, and for a time, their lives were filled with happiness and prosperity. But as the years passed, tragedy struck. Jonathan was accused of embezzlement and other crimes, and the scandal tarnished the family's name. Desperate to escape the shame and gossip, Abigail retreated to the mansion, isolating herself from the outside world. Rumors began to circulate that she had gone mad, tormented by the ghosts of her past. One fateful night, Abigail was found dead in her bedroom, her body cold and lifeless. The cause of her death remained a mystery, but many believed she had been driven to despair by the haunting spirits that roamed the mansion. With this newfound knowledge, the friends realized that the ghost they had encountered was none other than Abigail Hawthorne herself, still seeking peace after all these years. Determined to help her find closure, they returned to the mansion the following evening, armed with sage, candles, and a sense of purpose. As they entered the foyer, the air seemed to crackle with energy, and the temperature dropped once more. They made their way to the library, where they had first encountered Abigail's ghost. Emma, holding a bundle of sage, began to speak softly. "Abigail, we know your story now. We understand your pain. We're here to help you find peace." The room grew still, and a soft, ethereal glow appeared before them. Abigail's ghostly form materialized, her expression one of sorrow and longing. "Please," Emma continued, "let us help you move on." As the friends performed the cleansing ritual, the air grew warmer, and a sense of calm settled over the room. Abigail's form began to fade, and a faint smile appeared on her lips. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice filled with gratitude. "I can finally rest." With that, Abigail's spirit vanished, leaving the friends standing in the now peaceful library. They knew they had done the right thing, and as they left the mansion for the final time, they felt a sense of closure. The tale of the Hawthorne house and its ghostly inhabitant became a legend in Ravenswood, but the friends never forgot the lessons they had learned. They knew that sometimes the past must be confronted and understood to find peace in the present, and they would always remember the night they helped a restless spirit find her final rest. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this chilling tale, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to American Pulse and Paranormal for more spine-tingling stories. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, stay curious and stay spooky.